Transform your creativity with Edward de Bono's 6 thinking hats. In this video, I will explain his revolutionary thinking and brainstorming process and provide an active demonstration with an example from my project, Retro ROboland.
Join me as I draw, model, animate and film fantasy robots fighting in a machine-only world. It's crossover steampunk mecca. It's the behind the scenes before there's even a film. It's Retro ROboland.
So I promise you this amazing book will unleash your creativity in very useful targeted ways. It is 6 Thinking Hats by Edward de Bono, which is designed for group or individual brainstorming about any subject. The core philosophy is that there are 6 different modes of thinking that Edward de Bono categorizes as different colored hats that should be adopted or worn in rotation. Very quickly, the white hat is a neutral fact-finding hat. In any given field, you collect all the research or processes or data that will contribute to the foundation of your thinking. This is analysis without judgment. The red hat is viewing a subject through the filter of emotions. The red hat states how you feel about a given subject. The green hat signifies creativity in the sense of generating as many new ideas and processes as you can about something as quickly as possible. Being open to the innovation, new ways to do something. The yellow hat is about taking a consciously positive approach to a given solution, what positive outcomes it could potentially deliver. The black hat, a traditional academic, critical thinking, involves thinking of potential issues or problems with a given approach, evaluation from a cautious perspective. And the blue hat is for organizing available information, choosing appropriate information and processing, setting targeted goals and creating an action plan. In my shout out this week, I highly suggest you watch Edward de Bono himself actively demonstrating his own processes on the channel Happy and Well. Link to the video itself is in the link in the description. He is amazing to watch and has been showcasing his method to government organizations, multinational corporations, and as a mainstay of industries for decades. I actively incorporate 6 thinking hats into all my projects, even to the length of physically putting on colored hats when thinking in that mode, but also I really like hats. So I'm going to use my Retro ROboland project to create an active demonstration of 6 thinking hats when considering the question, how will the flying robot be able to destroy the living machine? Remember that the flying robots break into the living machine through a ventilation shaft and they will be able to blow it up somehow. The way I have to decide representing these explosions will be through filming ink expanding in water. And then I will have various ways to composite this into a shot depending on what I may be blowing up. I'm just using this big medical syringe to pull the liquid paint into the chamber, and then I just bring it into water and squirt and enlarge that, slow down the footage. It looks pretty cool. That is what an explosion will look like in this Retro ROboland world. I'll actually film them in a fish tank and combine it with the final shot. So the initial question again, how will the flying robot be able to destroy the living machine? The first step was to use white hat to research 4 different ways that things are destroyed in the real world. Then I used green hat to think about how this example might work in Retro ROboland world, and now I'll go through them one by one in terms of yellow hat positive thinking and black hat critical thinking to choose the way forward. The white hat for design 1 is that of a mosquito. The green hat idea is that the flying robot lands on the part of the machine. It then has a drill bit that drills into the machine and then it injects some deadly fluid into the machine. Yellow hat, this could work if I made the machine have lots of clear pipes and tanks pumping different fluids. It would be organic like a human body. It could be very interesting visually. Black hat, this would be very hard to do practically. Building models that are watertight and everything I do would need different fluid shots. It's also kind of abstract with the idea that this deadly fluid kills the machine. I mean, would the machine really the flying machines need to keep on attacking? Option 2, white hat is the German Stuka bomber from World War II. Green hat, the flying robot flies very high, comes screaming down, drops the bomb. The bomb explodes as the robot flies away. Yellow hat here is that this is a very dramatic and visual method of destruction. It could look very cool and I could totally make it. Black hat is that this does not really work in an inner space with tunnels and low-hanging roofs like a living machine. There is not the space to fly to great heights. Option 3, White hat is a kamikaze bomber from Second World War. The green hat for this method is that the flying robot flies down, lands on the machine and blows itself up, killing itself and destroying the machine. Yellow hat here is that it's very dramatically visually and also the level of jeopardy for the defenders. I mean, how do you stop that? I'll inject here with a red hat. My emotional response is that I really do not want any kind of suggestion of suicide in something I make. Black hat. In practical terms, I have to blow one of these up, one of the flying robots, every time it destroys a part of a machine. That will be a long time to set that up, and also the flying robots are reduced to a type of missile, which is not so interesting. The fourth idea, white hat, is like a mine-laying ship from the Second World War. The green hat idea for this is that the flying robot lands, plants a bomb on a time delay and flies off, and then the bomb explodes. Yellow hat, that this is visually dramatic. It is within my technical means to make it work, and it can work within the narrow physical confines of the machine world. I like the idea of selectivity in what to destroy, that having maybe 1 or 2 bombs per robot before it returns to base. Black hat here is that it would be quite complicated. Also, how neat and simple is dropping a bomb or firing a weapon compared to this? Firing a weapon, which is fine for the movie Star Wars and just about every war movie. Red hat here makes a play. I like the timeline. It would be fun thinking up where and how it would be used and build a strategy for a war between these two. It's a bit different. Option 4 declared the winner. Alright, blue hat would be organising and designing the model. Next episode is kind of green hatting again. I'll come up with a design on paper for how the flying robot can plant mines, the physical mechanics of that. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe over there. You can start the playlist from the beginning. It's going to get longer and longer over there. That one for the Yugu algorithm is chosen. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.